Sawasdee ka. Thank you for joining us on Newsline. We are broadcasting live on NBT, Radio Thailand FM 88, and on NBT World. It's Friday, March the 4th of 2016, and you're with me, Thirathirakosan. Welcome to today's segment of Thailand Moves Forward. In our first story, Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha has asked media outlets to perform their duties constructively to help bring peace to Thailand on the occasion of Thai Journalists' Day, which will be celebrated on March 5th of every year. The Prime Minister affirmed on Wednesday that the government did not censor news reporting. He asked that media agencies separate the country's internal conflicts from political issues and the national reform campaign. General Prayut also urged the media to avoid reporting news which incite unrest. The Premier has denied that the government instructed civil servants not to appear on the television program of famous news anchor Sorayut Suthatsana-Jinda, who was found guilty of embezzlement. The public, private, and civil sectors have signed a Memorandum of Understanding, or MOU, to develop Thailand's education in a sustainable manner. More than 7,400 schools will take part in the pilot program under the MOU in the first semester of this year. Deputy Prime Minister Somkit Jatusipisak presided over the signing ceremony of the MOU aimed at developing Thai education in terms of ICT infrastructure and transparency of education information and curricula. The MOU also aims to develop the leadership of academic institutions and the quality of its teachers. Mr. Somkit said that from now on, the public, private, and civil sectors will work together in developing Thai education and producing quality human resources, with a focus on skills suitable for the country's future. Initially, the MOU program will be piloted in 7,424 schools and then expanded to Thailand's remaining educational institutions nationwide. The Education Minister will discuss preparations for the establishment of a Department of Academics while endorsing the Prime Minister's use of Section 44 of the Interim Constitution to streamline its administration. Education Minister General Dapong Ratanasuwan revealed that the ministry's recent meeting discussed the need to swiftly implement its policies through the powers afforded to the National Council for Peace and Order under Section 44 of the Interim Constitution. The minister agreed that urgent policies must be implemented during the current administration. Afterwards, the ministry's policies will be implemented through the usual protocols. One of the policies is establishing a Department of Academics. The ministry has been in discussion with the National Legislative Assembly, or NLA, over the department's jurisdiction. The NLA has proposed that the new department serve as an independent organization. The National Legislative Assembly has approved the appointment of new judges to the Supreme Administrative Court. The Assembly deliberated the nominations of a new president and new judges of the Supreme Administrative Court. The process started with a secret meeting to check candidate backgrounds and behavioral records, as well as their ethical standing. The NLA session voted 125 in favor to 42 against, with 22 abstentions, to appoint Vice President of the Supreme Administrative Court, Piya Patangta, as the new president. From a list of 15 nominees, the legislature has approved the appointment of 14 new Supreme Administrative Court judges. The Internal Security Operations Command, or ISOC, has continued its surveillance of terrorism and prostitution activities. ISOC spokesperson Major General Banpot Poonpian said his agency has yet to detect any sign of terrorism activity, but maintains that all agencies must stay vigilant. He urged the public to be on the lookout for suspicious behavior, especially that of any possible transnational criminals that may have taken up residence near tourist attractions. As for foreigners fleeing into the country, including those arriving to facilitate prostitution, Major General Banpot said public agencies will continue to monitor suspicious businesses, expedite judicial proceedings against offenders, and assist victims of the sex trade. The Center for Economic and Business Forecasting of the University of the Thai Chamber of Commerce has reported that the Consumer Confidence Index, or CCI, in February declined for the second month in a row. The CEBF said that the CCI fell to 74.7 in February, its second monthly drop, while confidence in the future economy also dropped to 82.7. The center attributed the downward adjustments to concerns over the impact of drought on agriculture and farmers' purchasing power, as well as continuous contraction in exports, uncertainty of economic recovery, poor performance in the stock exchange, and low oil prices. CEBF Director Thanawat Phonwichai elaborated that the sluggish economy, combined with effects from the drought crisis, could cause the country to lose around 70 to 100 billion baht in revenue. However, the director viewed that the government's 87 billion baht drought relief as an effective measure. If the funds are disbursed within April or May, he believes that the CCI would rebound in the middle of the second quarter. Economic growth in the quarter could also reach 3%, which would push up annual growth to 3.5%. The Office of Small and Medium Enterprises Promotion has joined with academic institutions and the National Science and Technology Development Agency to support strong and regular level SMEs to greater growth. The joint project will seek to use innovations and novelty to spur selected SMEs to sustainable growth under a budget of 200 million baht. OSMEP is forming a team of experts and advisors to perform an in-depth analysis of each SME to enhance them with innovations such as Thammasat University's findings on product development and King Mongkut's University of Technology Thonburi's methods for generating capital and reducing energy. The office will also help expand each SME's market and introduce them to e-commerce. The project has set a target of enhancing 10,000 SMEs. Eligible businesses must fall within S-curve industries, register with OSMEP, and have been a legal entity for no less than 3 years, with growth of 0 to 20% over that period. Thai researchers at Synchrotron Light Research Institute have discovered a way to give pearls a gold sheen. For more on this, we turn to Kun Sutichat Den Phryk Tham on the story.
In February 2016, Dr. Niravat Thamachak, a researcher from the Synchrotron Light Research Institute, or SLRI, received an award for the invention of the golden color pearl using synchrotron radiation technology. So what is synchrotron light and how can it make pearls appear gold? Well, the term synchrotron light may sound a bit too academic and remote from our day-to-day life. However, most people would know this radiation very well from their most famous application, the X-ray. Synchrotron X-ray is a radiation projection using a particle accelerator in place of conventional X-ray tube.
First of all, we need a particle to be accelerated, but nearly all of the synchrotron machine will accelerate electrons because it's easy to do, easy to control, easy to accelerate. And if you accelerate these charged particles, in this case electrons, that's fast enough, nearly the speed of light, they start to produce the synchrotron light out. So compared to the facilities that can produce, can accelerate the particle, for example, at CERN, the main objective is to accelerate the particle and do the experiment about the particle physics. But for the synchrotron facilities, we accelerate the particles to produce the synchrotron light, similar but with different objective.
Compared to the conventional X-ray, the synchrotron light is much brighter, with hundreds of thousands of times more intense than that of typical X-ray tube, and highly collimated. As such, it can penetrate much deeper into objects and can be even used to gain information about the material's composition, including the type and location of individual atoms within it. This property is one of the key aspects that SLRI researchers use to give the typical freshwater pearl its brilliant golden color. The synchrotron light is used primarily in X-ray absorption spectroscopy technique employed by the SLRI 8-beam light to analyze the compound and atom structure that determine the color of the pearl, which exists in very small quantity.
After we know that the manganese element, is the cause of the change, the color change in pearl, then we use the X-ray, the intense X-ray beam, to change white color pearl by activating the manganese, and that caused the white pearl turning into golden pearl.
The Synchrotron Light Research Institute is committed to the study of synchrotron light technology, the manipulation of color elements to produce the accurate and desirable color jewelry is one of the many useful applications of this advanced X-ray, and prove that the research in this field is still relevant and highly useful today. Sutishadan Pritham, reporting for NBT World.
The Bangkok Metropolitan Administration is preparing to conduct a major facelift of Ramawan Road and Ratchadamrit Road prior to the annual Songkran celebrations. Bangkok Deputy Governor Jumpon Sampaupon led a team of BMA officials from the Department of Public Works, Department of Traffic and Transportation, Environment Department, and City Law Enforcement Department to inspect the roads, particularly areas around Pathum 1, Ratchaprasong, and Pratu Nam intersections. Under the renovation project, footpaths and road surfaces will be improved and restructured, while more trees will be planted to increase green areas. Street lamps and CCTV cameras will also be checked and repaired as needed. All unauthorized phone booths and advertisement billboards will be removed. According to the Bangkok Deputy Governor, many spots on the sidewalk as well as manholes have been found in urgent need of maintenance. The Deputy Governor added that the BMA is also coordinating with related agencies to improve the BTS Skywalk for better accessibility. He said all procedures are likely to be finished before the Songkran celebrations. The Northern Royal Rainmaking Operations Center has been preparing drought and haze relief measures, waiting for proper weather conditions to create artificial rain. Regional officials have continued to monitor weather conditions to plan cloud seeding operations, conducting aerial surveys for signs of forest fires. Director of the Northern Royal Rainmaking Operations Center, Rangsan Bu Samwang, said that a high-pressure system is reducing humidity in the region. Low humidity coupled with strong winds make the atmosphere unsuitable for creating artificial rain. However, authorities have readied their resources and will continue to monitor weather conditions to determine the proper time to begin cloud seeding operations. A newly discovered cave in Tak Province is set to receive an upgrade to become a new tourist attraction site. The cave, known locally as Tham Pa Khao Morakot, was discovered at Tak Sin Maharaj National Park in Masot District. The cave has beautiful formations of stalactites and stalagmites. Tak Governor Somchai Hatayatantati said a limestone chamber inside the cave is large enough to accommodate several thousand people at a time. The cave was named Tham Pa Khao Morakot as these rock formations shine like diamonds. Those wanting to visit the cave are able to contact a nearby village of Pupe at 082-882-3196. A tour guide will be provided by the village committee during the weekdays. Once again, the number is 082-882-3196. And that's the end of today's edition of Thailand Moves Forward. Up next in ASEAN News, we bring a special report from Chanthaburi's border checkpoint with Cambodia. But first, let's take a look at the exchange rates and commodity prices.
ASEAN Socio-Cultural Community. Due to recurring natural disasters in the ASEAN region, the ASEAN Committee on Disaster Management has become the main authority to coordinate emergency help during disasters. Moreover, there is background of cooperation in terms of environmental sustainability and restoration of natural forest land to reduce the impact of disasters. One vision, one identity, one community.
Pad Thai. Created from Thai wisdom, used to be served on banana leaf, and the banana tree is used for practicing Muay Thai. Muay Thai was trained in the temples, which can be found on the mountains, in the caves, or on the water, everywhere, just like Pad Thai. There are thousands of other stories to discover. Discover your amazing stories in Amazing Thailand.
Welcome back. You're watching Newsline. Chanthaburi is one of the provinces on the border near Battambang, Cambodia. Since the ASEAN integration at the border area at Ban Lam immigration checkpoint has been changed. For more on this, Kun Praphamon Araya Sukswat has the report.
The ASEAN Economic Community, or AEC, was established for the purpose of promoting economic and cultural relations among the nations of the Southeast Asian region. In this regard, the territories along any borderline of a country are considered essential strategic landmarks where bilateral relations involving trade and cultural exchanges are performed. Chanthaburi, a province located in the east of Thailand and sharing the border with Cambodia, has also achieved distinction in its gross domestic product in the year 2015.
In the star of the industry in Chanthaburi are both industry one is tourism, and secondly is a broader cross-border trading, which is also increasingly popular for both industry. That's the result. As a result, Chanthaburi economic are quite better than another place.
Thai and Cambodian border trade volume has ever been growing, especially on the eastern coast of Thailand at Ban Lam immigration checkpoint in Chanthaburi province, that currently its local trade volume has been increasing greatly since the AEC has been set off.
Ban Lam or Lam village is a regular border crossing which is the liveliest as well as busiest bazaar in Chanthaburi province. In the Thai territorial area, wholesale and retail trade usually goes on through the whole day. Ban Lam Bazaar is the place where both Thai and Cambodian vendors come to do business. A large range of goods from both territories normally comes to be sold and exchanged every day. That's why there is a large number of people coming into and out of the other territory, including the Cambodian labor freelancers coming into Thailand for daily labor hiring. The goods available here can be all sorts of things, not only garments, but agricultural and processed items as well. The bazaar has become larger in size, and with the increasing sales volumes, visitors and tourists like to make a purchase here as a souvenir. Furthermore, local business activity has now expanded as far as Vietnam as well.
I have been talking with the business who are doing the cross-border trading, and also for some part of the governor. They tell me that the trading are now become a lot more.
That is to say, the border trade development is an important mechanism leading to ASEAN economic growth according to the AEC's target. The constant increase in the border trade volume is a sign for all involved, both in government and private sectors, to set things for any country's economic change. Camera work by Pornmongkul Suthi. I am Praphamon Araya Sukhawat for NBT World.
Elsewhere in the world, the U.S. said it could not confirm reports North Korea fired several short-range projectiles into the sea hours after UN Security Council voted to impose tough new sanctions on the isolated state. State Department spokesman John Kirby said that such action would not be surprising but provocative. Projectiles were reportedly fired after the UN Security Council passed a unanimous resolution on Wednesday dramatically expanding sanctions on North Korea following its fourth nuclear test on January 6 and a long-range rocket launch on February 7th. The firing escalated tensions on the Korean peninsula, which have been high since North Korea's recent nuclear tests and a long-range rocket launch, and set the South's military on a heightened alert. Heavy rain in Peru has left 11 people dead, more than 5,000 people seriously affected, and nearly 600 houses destroyed this year. The information is according to a report published by the Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives, which links the weather conditions to the El Nino phenomenon. By Thursday, 42 areas were declared under a state of emergency, including several towns in the northern region of Tumbes, where the Zaronila River burst its banks. Television footage showed dramatic rescue efforts where vehicles had become trapped in floods and locals crossed makeshift pathways which had been cleared in the mud. The Center of Emergency reported that a total of 200 kilometers of roads have been affected by flooding, including the Central Highway in particular, which provides the main access route for food supplies to the capital. Erratic weather conditions in Peru have been associated with the El Nino phenomenon, which occurs naturally every few years due to upswelling, which leads to variations in sea surface temperatures. But this season has been particularly bad, with the Center of Emergency reporting that almost 80,000 people have been affected and nearly 13,000 houses partially damaged by this season's rains. A solar-powered plane attempting to circumnavigate the globe made a test flight over Hawaii as it prepares to continue its record-breaking journey. The aircraft, called the Solar Impulse 2, was grounded on the island of Oahu since July as a result of battery damage caused during the plane's record 118-hour trans-Pacific flight from Japan to Hawaii last July. The aircraft's batteries store energy from the sun during daylight hours to keep the aircraft powered overnight, allowing it to remain aloft around the clock on extreme long-distance flights. The batteries became overheated during the plane's initial ascent after takeoff in June 2015 from Nagoya, en route to Japan on the seventh and most challenging leg of its circumnavigation attempt. Flight controllers and the pilot managed to successfully complete the Japan to Hawaii leg, safely landing in Honolulu on July 3rd after 5 days and 5 nights, or 117 hours and 52 minutes aloft. The trip shattered the 76-hour record for a nonstop solo flight set in 2006 by the late American adventurer Steve Fawcett in the Virgin Atlantic Global Flyer. And that's it for today's edition of Newsline. For any comments or suggestions, please feel free to email them to us at newsline.nbt@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook. Just simply type in NIT or check out our website at thainews.prd.go.th/en. And we're going to go say goodbye now with footage of a rare albino whale spotted off Mexico's Pacific coast. I'm Tara Tirako-san. Have a wonderful day. Sawasdee ka.